Court crashers. We've all done it at least once, but we still hate it. Someone walking onto a court midpoint. Even if it's just open play, and even if you're only passing through, that moment matters. In pickleball, momentum is everything, and distractions ruin the rhythm. The fix? Wait for the rally to end. Stand back, make eye contact, and enter only when invited. Think of it like jumping into traffic. You wouldn't just step in front of a moving car, right? Some players will say, "It's just rec play, relax." But rec play is where most players learn the flow of the game. If they never learn to respect the rhythm, they're not just being rude, they're stunting the sport. The loud talkers. You're deep in a dink rally, laser focused on the net. And behind you, someone's reenacting last night's episode of The Bachelor at full volume. Talking during points, even if you're not in the game, is one of those etiquette blind spots that sneaks up on people. You're not trying to be rude. But when your voice cuts through someone's concentration mid-serve, it matters. And it's not just conversations. It's screaming after a missed shot, cheering too loud for a different court, or doing that weird thing where you narrate someone else's match like it's ESPN. Here's the rule. If you're not in the point, keep it down. Socializing is great. It's half the fun of pickleball, but not while someone's trying to win a tight game. Want to talk? Step away from the courts. Keep your volume respectful. Let players focus, and save your hot takes for the sidelines. Because the louder you're off the court, the more silent stares you'll get on it. The warm-up warriors. They show up early to warm up, and 5 minutes later, they're running full-blown drills, ripping forehands corner to corner, while 4 players wait to start their actual game. Look, warming up is good, encouraged even, but there's a fine line between getting loose and hogging court time. If people are clearly waiting to play, it's time to wrap it up, not launch into your 8th practice lob. Even worse, ignoring open play cues just because you want to get in a few more reps. If there's a waitlist or open play system, your warm-up ends when others are ready. And if you're solo drilling on a shared court, always yield to actual matches. Your topspin might be nasty, but holding up a court isn't how you show it off. The exit ghost. The game ends. You grab your paddle, your water bottle, and vanish like a ninja. No wave, no good game, just dust in the wind. It might seem small, but leaving without a word is a classic case of bad pickleball etiquette. Because in this sport, where you often play with strangers, rotate partners, and share limited courts, connection matters. Even if the match didn't go your way, a quick "thanks for the game" or "good playing with you" makes all the difference. It closes the loop. It shows respect. It leaves people wanting to play with you again. Ghosting your way off the court? That leaves people wondering what went wrong. Or worse, they assume you're salty, standoffish, or just plain rude. And if you're bailing on a rotation or leaving early during round-robin play, let someone know. Ghosting mid-schedule messes up the flow for everyone. Because pickleball isn't just about what happens during the game, it's also about how you show up and how you leave. The gatekeepers. They show up to open play with their little crew, claim a court, and act like they own the place. They've been playing together for years. They know all the inside jokes, and they have zero intention of rotating new players in. But they're breaking the most basic rule of open play. The whole point is that it's open. When you lose a game, you rotate off. When you've played 2 in a row, you rotate off. It doesn't matter if you've been coming to this court since 1987 or if your best friend just showed up. You're not the main character. But these gatekeepers will find every excuse in the book. Oh, we're just finishing this one game. We're working on something specific. The new players aren't ready for our level. Meanwhile, people are standing around for an hour watching the same 4 people play game after game. When you finally work up the courage to say something, they act like you're the problem. Like you're being rude for expecting basic fairness. They'll give you this look like you just asked to borrow their car. Some of them will even get defensive and start explaining why they deserve special treatment. If you're one of these people, you're killing the sport. Do better. Line call wars. There are actually 2 problems here. First, we have the players who think line calls are sacred and untouchable. They make an obviously terrible call, and when you question it, they hit you with, "It's our call, so shut up." These people act like discussing a line call is some kind of personal attack. They'll make 4 egregious calls in a row and expect everyone to just smile and accept it. Here's the reality. If you make a bad call, the other team has every right to question it. You don't have to change your call, but you should be open to discussion. The goal is a fair game, not protecting your ego. Good players actually welcome feedback because it helps them get better. The second problem are players who call everything out. These are the people who see a ball land anywhere near a line and immediately scream, "Out!" even when they clearly can't see daylight between the ball and the line. They're so focused on winning points through line calls that they forget the actual point of playing. If you can't see court surface between the ball and the line, play the point. Stop calling close shots out. You're not a professional. You will never be a professional. It's way more fun to play the point than to make a questionable call and frustrate everyone around you. The screamers. These are the people who turn pickleball courts into therapy sessions, except nobody signed up to be their therapist. The person who misses a shot and starts yelling at themselves like they just lost the championship. The one who screams at their partner for making a mistake. The player who throws their paddle or slams it against their leg after every point that doesn't go their way. Nobody wants to hear it. Not a single person on that court signed up to deal with your anger issues. When you scream, you're not just affecting your game, you're ruining everyone else's experience. Other players start walking on eggshells, wondering when the next outburst is coming. And don't try to justify it by saying, "I'm only yelling at myself." That doesn't make it better. You're creating a toxic atmosphere where people can't relax and enjoy the game. Bottom line, don't make your emotional problems everyone else's problem on the pickleball court. The unsolicited coaches. These are the people who think they're doing you a favor by constantly telling you how to play better, even though you never asked for their opinion. Picture this scenario. You're in the middle of a competitive game, you're dinking effectively, and scoring points, when your partner suddenly starts barking orders. Stop dinking, keep them pinned back with long shots. Meanwhile, this same person is consistently hitting balls past the baseline, but somehow they think they know better than you do about your own strategy. Here's what makes this even worse. When you ignore their advice and keep doing what's working, they get frustrated with you. They act like you're being stubborn or difficult, when in reality you're just trying to play your game. The fix for this is incredibly simple. Ask for permission first. It takes 5 seconds to say, "Hey, I spotted something that might help you. Is it okay if I share that?" Or, "I think I found a way to keep them off balance by adjusting our strategy. Can I share?" Most people will say yes when you ask nicely. But when you just start barking orders without permission, you're not being helpful. You're being controlling. You're assuming that your partner owes you something, that they have to listen to your advice just because you're on the same side of the net. And here's the thing that really gets people. Your partner doesn't owe you anything. They don't have to play the way you want them to play. They don't have to follow your strategy. If you want to control every aspect of how the game is played, go play singles. The predators. We need to talk about players who deliberately target people with mobility issues or beginners, not to win, but just to dominate and show off. You see this all the time. An older player, someone recovering from injury, or a person with limited mobility gets on the court. Instead of adjusting their game to create a fun, competitive match, certain players see this as an opportunity to unleash every lob shot in their arsenal. They'll hit high, deep balls to corners they know their opponent can't reach. They'll exploit every physical limitation just to rack up easy points. What exactly are you proving here? That you can beat someone who can barely move? That you're athletic enough to outrun a 75-year-old? Congratulations, you've accomplished what literally any healthy person could do. This is about ego. These players get some twisted satisfaction from dominating people who can't compete at their level. They think it makes them look good, but everyone watching knows exactly what they're doing. The same thing happens with beginners. Some players get genuine enjoyment out of destroying people who just picked up a paddle for the first time. They'll use every advanced technique they know against someone who's still learning how to serve properly. If you're half as good as you think you are, you should be able to win without exploiting physical limitations or skill gaps. Play to the level of your competition. Adjust your strategy. Focus on placement instead of power. Make it a fun game for everyone, not a showcase of your ability to beat people who can't fight back. Ball chaos. This is where you find out who actually cares about safety and who's just focused on their own game. A ball rolls onto your court during a rally. The correct response? Stop playing immediately and call ball on court, or something like that. It doesn't matter if you're about to win the point. It doesn't matter if it's match point. You stop. Period. Why? Because people get seriously hurt stepping on balls. Broken ankles, torn ligaments, concussions from falls. It happens all the time. But some players refuse to stop because they think their rally is more important than everyone's safety. Then you have the opposite problem. Balls flying everywhere and nobody taking responsibility. A ball from another court rolls over, and instead of the player whose ball it is yelling, "Ball on court," they just watch silently while you deal with the hazard. And here's where it gets really annoying: returning stray balls. When someone's ball ends up in your area, you don't punt it across 3 courts like you're trying out for the NFL. You make eye contact with the owner, get their attention, and either roll it back gently or hand it to them directly. It's basic courtesy. If it's not your ball, handle it with care and get it back to the right people safely. Celebration police. Look, everyone loves hitting a great shot. A nice drop shot winner, an incredible get, a perfect passing shot. These moments deserve acknowledgement. A fist pump, a yes, to your partner, maybe a quick celebration. That's normal. That's fun. But then you have the players who act like they just won Wimbledon after hitting a basic forehand past a 70-year-old beginner. They're jumping around, screaming, doing elaborate celebrations, and generally making everyone uncomfortable. The worst part? These same players go completely silent when their opponents make great shots. They won't acknowledge an incredible get or congratulate an amazing winner. They act like giving credit to the other team somehow diminishes their own game. Here's a simple rule. If someone makes an unbelievable shot, even if it costs you the point, speak up. Say, "Great shot," or "Nice get." It takes 0 effort and shows you're not a complete narcissist. Good players celebrate great pickleball regardless of which side of the net it comes from. And when you make a good shot yourself, keep the celebration proportional. Hit a winner against advanced players? Go ahead and celebrate. Beat beginners with a basic shot they couldn't reach? Maybe tone it down a bit. Time thieves. These are the players who know people are waiting, but find every excuse to stay on the court longer. You see this constantly at busy facilities. There's a clear line of people waiting to play, but the same group keeps finding reasons to extend their time. "Oh, we're just warming up for one more game." "This is a really good rally, we can't stop now." "We'll be quick, just one more to 7 instead of 11. Meanwhile, people who showed up for their scheduled time slot are standing around watching these court hogs play game after game. Some of these waiting players drove across town, took time off work, or arranged childcare just to get an hour of pickleball in. Here's what makes this worse. Some facilities have specific rules about court time, and these players just ignore them. The sign says, "Games to 9 when busy," but they play to 11 anyway. The rules say rotate after each game, but they'll play 2 or 3 in a row because we're having such a good time. And don't get me started on the people who disappear from the waiting list. They put their paddle in the queue, then vanish for 20 minutes. Now, nobody knows if they're still waiting, if they left, or if they're coming back. This messes up the entire rotation and keeps everyone guessing. The solution is simple. Respect other people's time. Follow the facility rules. If people are waiting, keep your games short. If you're in the queue, stay visible and ready to play when your turn comes up. The basics everyone ignores. First, introductions. When you step onto a court with new people, introduce yourself. Exchange names. Do a paddle tap or fist bump. It takes 10 seconds and immediately makes the game more friendly. But some players just walk on, start playing, and never acknowledge that other human beings exist. Second, call your own faults. If you step in the kitchen on a volley, don't make the other team be the bad guys who have to call your obvious mistake. Finally, clean up after yourself. Take your water bottles, towels, and gear with you. Don't leave trash on the court. If you see someone else's mess, pick it up. It takes zero effort and shows you actually care about the place where you play. I'll be posting a lot more here, so I'd be grateful if you subscribe.